So, what happens when you take a world-class guitar festival and set it loose on the open ocean? Well, we're about to dive into a musical journey that kicked off with a pretty surprising idea over 20 years ago and is now being totally reborn.
At the very heart of this story is luthier Kenny Hill. You see, back in 2003, he gets this call about let's say, a seemingly crazy idea. A full-blown classical guitar festival on a cruise ship. He had absolutely no idea it was going to become something truly special. Okay, so where in the world did this idea even come from? Well, it all started with a vision to create something positive, something meaningful, during a time that felt, well, a little bleak to a lot of people.
And that motivation was everything. The guy with the vision, David Rona, he just wanted to build a community, to shake people out of their routines and create something genuinely good. This was never just about the music, it was about connection.
So here's how it all came together. You have David Rona, who has zero experience but a ton of passion, and he just starts making calls. He eventually gets through to a pretty skeptical Kenny Hill, who not only ends up agreeing to join, but also donates one of his own guitars as a prize. Talk about a true grassroots effort.
All right, so how did this wild idea actually play out once they were on the water? Let's take a look at that maiden voyage back in 2003.
Get this. While sailing on the Pacific Ocean, Kenny Hill sets up a workshop right there in his cabin. He's literally carving a guitar neck from a solid block of Spanish cedar, and the whole room fills with that amazing aroma. You just have to wonder what the housekeeping staff thought when they saw the pile of wood chips.
Now, performing on a ship, that's a whole different ballgame. The concert hall was way down in the bow, super close to the waterline, which meant the stage was constantly rising and falling with the waves. For the audience, it was kind of trance-like. For the artists, probably one of the weirdest onstage distractions of their entire careers. But you know, the trip was really defined by all these incredible spontaneous moments. I mean, from discovering new snorkeling spots, which they nicknamed Tannenbaum Rock after guitarist David Tannenbaum, to just taking off on impromptu adventures in port. It was a week packed with shared experiences that went way beyond the official schedule.
And maybe the most telling story of the whole trip happened at the final guitar raffle. When the winner's name is called, a gentleman from Germany, he whispers, "Am I allowed to refuse it?" See, he already owned a bunch of guitars. So he draws another ticket, and the prize goes to a man named Bob, whose own guitar had been lost by the airline. It was just the perfect ending.
Now, fast forward more than 2 decades, and that original spirit is evolving. Let's look at how the legacy of that incredible first cruise is being totally reimagined for a new generation.
The main evolution is pretty clear. The original 2003 cruise was all about celebrating classical guitar. This new event, the Ultimate Guitar Cruise, is broadening that vision in a big way, creating the first ever retreat to unite both classical and electric guitarists at sea. I absolutely love this description because it just perfectly captures the vibe of the new cruise. The electric guitar isn't seen as some intruder breaking tradition, it's seen as turbocharging it. You know, it's all about fusing 500 years of history with some seriously cool modern innovation.
And this isn't just an idea, it's happening. The new journey sets sail from Los Angeles down to the Mexican Riviera in December of 2026, actually retracing the very same path as that first magical voyage.
But this new event isn't just a vacation with some music thrown in. Nope, it has a much deeper mission built right into its core.
So the mission is basically threefold. First, to educate everyone through a really immersive experience. Second, to empower the whole industry by creating a real dialogue between artists, luthiers, and fans. And third, to give back by supporting youth music programs.
And you can see it's a really balanced approach. Yeah, education is the main focus, but empowering the community and giving back to the next generation are just as vital to what this cruise is all about.
So you might be asking, how do they handle that give back part? Well, it's through a partnership with a nonprofit called Fractured Atlas. This whole structure lets them support the guitar community in a financially transparent way, and it makes all contributions tax deductible. Pretty smart.
So, after 2 decades, the invitation to join this one-of-a-kind musical journey is officially back on the table.
But here is the key detail. It's an intimate retreat, and it's limited to just 100 participants. This is not some massive festival. It's specifically designed for deep connection and, honestly, unparalleled access to the artists.
At the end of the day, this is just a super rare opportunity. It's a chance to learn, to play, and to connect in a way that just isn't possible anywhere else, all while you're literally surrounded by the open sea.
It's a question that was first answered back in 2003. And it's a question that's about to be answered all over again. And the result, it seems, is something truly extraordinary. A powerful reminder that the guitar has always been about connection, linking people to new places, new projects, and, most importantly, to each other.